Fair tides carried me away, fair tides carried me away. I'll go, but I'll return someday. I was only 12 years old when I left. I couldn't see I was leaving, coming back would become a dream to me. Fair tides carried me away, fair tides carry me away. I'll go, but I'll return someday.
If you're a novelist, your reader knows you have that permission to try to go inside the minds of people at a different time, different place, who are not yourself, and you imagine what it's like to be them.
12 years in school I learned how to read, how to count, how to write. Get your education, I was told.
There's some, I can't explain it, some kind of connection in my head, some kind of wiring between the head and the hand, which makes it absolutely appropriate to be doing writing in that way. I could not write straight onto a computer screen. I simply couldn't do it.
Fair tides carry me away, fair tides carry me away. I'll go, but I'll return someday.
If you take away a person's memory, you take away their whole personality. You can't be yourself unless you remember. But how you remember constructs your personality, and people choose what to remember and what to forget. And so everyone in this room has created a story, and your version of events won't be the same as anyone else who was in a place at the same time as you.
We all know it's a truism that the past affects the present and the future, but I think it's also true that the present affects the past, because every time you look at the past it has shifted and changed because of the perspective from which you look at it.
Now you've passed your exams, you won't want to return to the old way of life. Use your education, get a job and a house and a car and a wife.
I never did want to become a poet. I used to want to write this poem. You know, this thing. I didn't even, at first I didn't know what they were. I thought they're not stories because they're not long enough. They don't go to the edge of the page. I quite quickly wanted to muck around with lines. And they didn't have a tune, so they weren't a song. I suppose they must be poemy things, and for some reason I began reading loads of poetry. That's how you become a poet, read a lot of poems, I think, and kind of want to do it, and wait for the influences of these other people to drop off, because at first, and it's amazing how much you can copy other people's methods and not get rumbled, you know.
Fair tides carry me away, fair tides carry me away. I'll go, but I'll return someday.
She got into one of the lorries to look at the supplies of the stuff, and they closed the door. And they didn't hear her banging on the side until they reached Hungary. So she does eventually return. But this little episode, she's still missing. And Bertie, he's only 6, and his mother is a trial to him, but she is his mother. And so he is feeling a bit blue, but he hasn't go back to school. He goes to the Steiner School now. And he goes back to the Steiner School, where he's got the most perfectly dreadful friends. There's Tofu, who's a horrible little boy who spits at anybody with whom he disagrees. Tofu is the son of 2 well-known Edinburgh vegans. But unfortunately, his mother has recently died of starvation.
Fair tides carried me away, fair tides carry me away. I'll go, but I'll return someday.